Just a few days ago, viewers, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi likened RSS-run schools to radical Islamist madrasas or seminaries. He claimed that Sangh-run schools are being imparted, or children in Sangh-run schools are being imparted the same lessons as students in radical madrasas in Pakistan. And this education is disturbing the social fabric of this country. Now, viewers, Times Now visited these Sangh-run schools in far-flung districts of Jhargram in Bengal to determine for itself whether these claims made by Rahul Gandhi carried any weight or merit. Here's what we found. Listen to this report filed by Padmaja Joshi.
What is going on is essentially an attack on the idea of equality.
यहाँ पे जो बोला जाता है शोषित वंचित जो दलित जाति है, आदिवासी, वनवासी और जो लोधा संप्रदाय है सबौर बोल के उसका बच्चा ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा यहाँ पे पढ़ाई करने के लिए आता है.
RSS began the attack through their schools. Much like the radical Islamists use their madrasas in Pakistan, much like that, the RSS uses its schools to push a particular worldview.
Among the institutions that are run in tribal areas is the Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram, primary schools called Shishu Mandirs, and standalone schools called Ekal Vidyalay, like the one that I am standing in right now. These organizations have been in the spotlight of late, given that former Congress President Rahul Gandhi had recently compared them, the Sangh-run organizations, to the radical madrasas of Pakistan. However, the truth about them is far less menacing. In fact, during the time of COVID, when most of the schools shut down, especially here in the areas where as it is access to education is very sparse, the Ekal Vidyalayas have been of special importance to the tribal population.
जो सरकारी विद्यालय में नहीं हो रहा है वो एकल विद्यालय में हो रहा है. बीजेपी से तो मेरा कोई यहाँ पे कोई नहीं हो रहा है. जो बीजेपी काम वो अलग है, मेरा एकल विद्यालय का काम अलग है. बीजेपी का एकल विद्यालय का कोई नहीं.
जो संघ के जितने आपके एकल विद्यालय, शिशु मंदिर वगैरह हैं, उनके बारे में बोलते हैं कि वहाँ पर हिंदुत्व सिखाया जाता है.
हाँ बोलता है, लेकिन उसको आदमी को हम ऐसा बोलता है कि आप एक बार सामने से नज़दीक आकर देखिए. जो छोटा बच्चा सुबह उठकर पिता माता को पैर छूकर प्रणाम करता है, वो जो हिंदुत्व होता है तो ठीक है, सही है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. वो क्रिश्चियन हो, हिंदू हो, सारे बच्चा सरस्वती वंदना कर रहा है, प्रणाम कर रहा है, पिता माता को पैर छू रहा है और क्यों गुरुजन को सम्मान करता है. ये यदि कोई हिंदुत्व होता है तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं. ये तो हमको हर बच्चा को ही हम ऐसा ही सिखाना चाहते हैं.
The Ekal Vidyalaya is just one of the many organizations that are being run by the Sangh on the ground. However, most of them refuse to come on camera because they studiously stay away from having any electoral association.
Now, viewers, let me quickly sum this up for you so you get a better sense. First and foremost, the RSS-run Saraswati Shishu Mandir schools instill patriotism. Students sing Vande Mataram every day at closing time. There is no religious curriculum that is being imparted here. Most SSM schools follow the CBSE syllabus, use NCERT books, as you can see on your screens. They impart a modern education. Some SSM schools are fully English medium schools. Zero period to teach history, freedom struggle history, and theology. Classrooms are named after freedom fighters and spiritual leaders. Also, the Shanti Path prayer, Song for Peace, is sung irrespective of religion. And most importantly, free education is imparted to tribals and Northeast Indian students. And these schools also count amongst their alumni some very famous names who are certainly not comparable to what comes out of the Jamaat-ud-Dawa Ram seminaries in Pakistan. Now viewers, let's open this up to get a perspective. And I want to begin first with Ratan Sharda ji, who is an author of books on RSS. Also, we have Rakesh Sinha, Member of Parliament to the Bharatiya Janata Party, Shahzad Poonawalla, Zainab Sikandar, Rashid Kidwai, Senior Journalist, and Dr. Sumant C. Raman, Political Analyst. And let me just open this up first to Ratan Sharda. Ratan Sharda, Rahul Gandhi makes this claim. You heard Padmaja Joshi's report. She went out, established for herself that students were given modern education training. There was certainly nothing that seemed to suggest that there was even a religious tinge to the curriculum. So, why is this coming up? Where is Rahul Gandhi coming from, Ratan Sharda?
See, actually, sometimes I wonder whether we should even respond to Mr. Rahul Gandhi's diatribes against RSS and organizations. Only reason it's good for us is that we can at least showcase what wonderful work RSS has done for various sections of the society. The way he first talked about women in RSS, we could also talk about Rashtra Sevika Samiti. Now, when he talks about Saraswati Shishu Mandir, at least people know now there are 35 lakh, 3.5 million students studying in thousands of Saraswati Shishu Mandir. They include corporate leaders, they include IAS officers, they include military men, they include every religion, every caste and creed. There is no attempt to convert anybody. There is no exclusivist ideology being taught there. And to compare, when he insinuates RSS with some kind of exclusivist ideology, basically is attacking the Hindu dharma. A dharma which is totally inclusive, which shows respect for everybody, which takes everybody along. To compare with madrasas which teach exclusive, hateful ideology, which says that nobody else but apart from followers of a certain prophet have a space on the world, or they should either convert or they should die or live as a second-class citizen. Those who are trained on the bomb making and terrorism across Middle East and all over the world, if they compare the people who are doing social reform and reaching out to underprivileged students and underprivileged people, then I think he needs to check out whether he lives in India or not. For people who have lived through elite schools and elite classes, for them to understand the pain of people for getting good education in remotest corners of the India is something he does not understand. He doesn't belong to India in the sense, emotional sense. I'm not talking in terms of being a citizen of India. So, and this attack on RSS allergy, which is genetic in the entire Congress, especially on the Nehru family, beginning from demonizing RSS in 1948, about the Gandhi assassination, right through the other leaders, though Indira Gandhi changed the opinion and stopped, opposing RSS. And in fact, she was happy with the work in Northeast, what RSS did there. Rajiv Gandhi stopped during the Ram Mandir movement. He also stopped having this kind of continuous confrontation. It started in a big way after Sonia Gandhi. And the reason for this is wherever there is Saraswati Shishu Mandir or Vanvasi Kalyana Ashram, missionaries' job of conversion has actually suffered. So this hate for RSS comes from the hate of religions who are actually exclusivists, do not like a Hindu dharma which teaches inclusiveness. So this hate comes from that side. It has nothing to do with the RSS does on the field. It is better they visit those schools, they visit those places and clean up their mind. And why Rahul didn't talk about Indian madrasas? So does he feel that Indian madrasas, Deoband and Barelvi are really different? Should he visit them and see what is being taught there?
Okay,
and the way we have got these people activated, you're sending terrorists from Kerala and various places, we should think twice.
Okay, so let me just quickly go across to Rashid Kidwai before I bring in Rakesh Sinha, Member of Parliament, and Shahzad Poonawalla and Zainab Sikandar and Dr. Sumant C. Raman. Okay, very quickly, Rashid Kidwai, respond to Ratan Sharda in the context of the remarks that have been made by Rahul Gandhi.
Rahul Gandhi is temperamentally is positioning himself as somebody who's always, opposed to what RSS or BJP does. I wish your correspondent Padmaja Joshi had also taken in account the kind of, profile who are studying. What is the kind of composition on the basis of, for instance, religious wise, do Shishu Mandir schools include members of other religious communities in their fold? It would have been an enlightening experience. I can tell you about my own.
No crosstalk. Yeah, please let him finish his point. I'll give you plenty of time to respond. Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Kidwai.
I think Rahul, we must make a distinction between what is religious and what is communal. If any educational institution, be it Muslim, Christian, Sikh, if they teach anything that creates animosity, hatred for fellow citizens, one community against another, I think we all collectively need to have a reason to be concerned about. If it's not, then religious education is permitted by law, by Indian Constitution.
Yes.
I think Mr. Sharda has made many comments, rather sweeping comments, political comments, but one comment I object about, the Indian madrasas. I have studied, in academic sense, many madrasas functioning. I don't think there is this kind of the kind of remarks that he has made that apply to Indian madrasa. That's why I'm saying Rahul is careful. He's talking about madrasas across the board. If any madrasa in India is doing it, the BJP is in power at center. Yogi Adityanath government is there in Uttar Pradesh. Right. They must and they should act upon. Take legal action against them. You cannot allege and get away.
Okay, Rashid ji, there are a couple of things. This report also details how there are Christian students, tribal students, and in fact, let me tell you, sir, you can just look up the net also, and there's a Times of India report on UP's RSS schools where there has been a 30% rise in 3 years of Muslim students also. So I think perhaps it devolves upon Rahul Gandhi to travel a little further.
That is welcoming.
From his gated Lutyens, superior enclave, and just take a look at what's really happening, instead of just, as you say, positioning himself as a great ideologue who represents the finest in inclusive secular politics. So just to put that on record, the report actually contains that. We even have a representative teaching from that school, giving us a breakdown on the type of students who are coming there and their backgrounds, etc. So it seems, at least on the face of it, unless of course, they spruced up the whole education system within 10 minutes of Padmaja Joshi getting there. She didn't go there as some VVIP. She just went there unannounced. So let us take it at face value. There is no agenda here. We're just trying to put out what we saw. I want to bring in Rakesh Sinha very quickly. Mr. Sinha, many people today say that, and Rahul Gandhi is one of the lead proponents of this theory, and there is a whole cabal of other individuals, as you know, that the RSS only believes in dividing people, and they begin this not just from their shakas but from their schools. Now, how do you respond to this very, very focused commentary that comes from this side?
There cannot be more ridiculous statement than this statement by Rahul Gandhi. It seems that Rahul Gandhi has institutionalized the ignorance as a part of his political philosophy. I am giving two examples. In Vidya Bharati school, where there are 34 lakh students and almost 1,15,000 teachers, 80,000 Muslim and Christian students are studying in the Vidya Bharati school. We don't feel proud that Muslim and Christians are studying because we take them as Indian citizens. This is transparency. Any Indian citizens who has believed in the Indian constitution and believes in the transparent system of education, Indian system of knowledge, can be part of the Vidya Bharati school. And there are the other examples. In Rajasthan, Seema Banu topped in the entire zone in CBSE examination. She's a Muslim and she's from Vidya Bharati school. And Ajar Ansari, he topped in Jharkhand. He was the first person from his village who went to this school. He topped in the 10th class. Third is Sarfaraj Hussain. In Assam in 2016, he topped in the entire state. So it is not the question of Hindu and Muslim. It is the question of what kind of teaching you are giving. Science, technology, ethics, Indian culture, history, all the mainstream education if you are partying. If you are a private school or the public school, hardly there is a difference. There is difference of mode of education merely. But here madrasa and Pakistani madrasa, which are the den of terrorism.
Rakesh ji, let me ask you a counter question.
I am giving example that
No, 1 second. You are giving example. Let me give you a quick counter example. RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat, on the occasion of the 25th year celebration of Ekal Vidyalayas, stoked controversy when he said that India wasn't safe without Hindutva. Now, some people would argue that was that the right forum or the right event or the right stage for such a statement, which you know would provoke a response of precisely the type that Rahul Gandhi comes up with. Very quick response, sir.
You know, when we define Hindutva, we have to take it in a context. If the definition of Hindutva by the A.G. Noorani and Rahul Gandhi, then I can't help it. Okay. RSS perspective of Hindutva is an inclusive perspective, and it is a representation of the civilizational nation state, which Prime Minister Modi himself once told in the parliament. We are not a simple nation, political nation state. We are a civilizational nation state. This means, what I am telling you, that I am quoting with Mohan Bhagwat ji, Acharya J.B. Kripalani was a socialist, and nobody will contest that. Acharya J.B. Kripalani wrote in his tract, that is the minorities in India, you just abandon the Vedas, Upanishad, Ramayana, Mahabharata, what else you will left with Indian culture?
Okay.
Therefore, when we say about the Indian culture, we don't exclude anybody. We include everybody, and Hindutva is an inclusive. Last one point, sir. Just give me 10 seconds. As far as Vidya Bharati schools are concerned, it is a transparent. Anybody can visit. Anybody can apply for admission. There is no ill will, hate teaching for any religious section.
Okay, no hate teaching. Fair enough. Let's open this up further.
Indian tradition.
Dr. Aman Shehzad
But madrasa ridicules all these things.
Okay, they ridicule. Okay, they're exclusive is fine. 1 second. Yes, doctor, very quickly.
You
yes.
must give me 45 seconds.
Please take 1 minute.
Uninterrupted, please. Yeah. Okay. First of all, the problem with these schools themselves is to a large extent the curriculum. Way back in the 90s, a committee on textbook evaluation featuring eminent experts drawn from universities all over India was formed, and they went through the NCERT report on the curriculum at some of these RSS-run schools. Now, I'm quoting, the committee's recommendation regarding the Saraswati Shishu Mandir Prakashan was, some of the textbooks which are currently in use at primary level in Saraswati Shishu Mandir present an extremely virulent communal view of Indian history. The intolerant and extremely crude style and language, as well as the totally uninhibited way historical facts have been fabricated, are designed to promote not patriotism as is claimed, but totally blind bigotry and fanaticism. These textbooks should not be allowed to be used in schools. Now, they went through the Vidya Bharati publication and again said that this blatantly communal writings in the series entitled Sanskriti Jnana in the Vidya Bharati schools which have been set up and so on. I could go on and on, Rahul.
Okay.
2 years ago, I'm sure you will recall, there was this incident where in a school in Kallada in Karnataka, coastal Karnataka, a school run by a gentleman called Prabhakar Bhatt, who's an RSS man. Now, this school actually carried out as part of their annual day or some celebration, the students enacted the demolition of the Babri Masjid and the construction of a Ram Mandir there.
Okay.
Now, if you're going to justify all of this,
right,
and say that this is okay and this is the version of patriotism and nationalism that we teach. By the way, Mr. D.V. Sadananda Gowda, senior BJP leader, union minister, was the chief guest at that function.
Okay, so you're saying that the curriculum itself injects poison. Okay, Shehzad Poonawalla, quick response.
Now let me address a few questions that have come up. If the curriculum itself, Rahul, was
Sir, Rahul, give me 10 seconds just.
After Shehzad, very quickly. Yes, Zainab Sikandar is also waiting. Yes,
If the curriculum itself, Rahul, was a problem, then I will pose a question that why aren't we seeing more of the likes of Hafiz Saeed graduating out of these schools as we see from the madrasas? Ironically, the idea or the definition of secularism is that madrasas which have continuously been producing denouncing people who are fundamentalists are okay. Don't touch them in the name of secularism, but keep abusing RSS-run schools. And what are these schools? 1988, the Ekal Abhiyan started. Perhaps the largest movement of these schools started in the most backward areas where the school system of the government did not reach. They formed about more than 1 lakh schools in the poorest tribal villages, free education given to them, 30 lakh students as Mr. Rakesh Sinha has presented to you, schools that inculcate values of patriotism. You sing Vande Mataram, you have school classes named after freedom fighters. But here's the problem, Rahul, the problem is not RSS phobia of Rahul Gandhi. The problem is his elitism that refuses to see that these schools can contribute, and the Hindu phobia that we can't distinguish between madrasas which are theologically run schools and these which are culturally run schools. I accept that RSS run schools are strongly cultural, but culture is common for Shehzad as it is for Rahul Shivshankar, and there's nothing wrong with schools having a cultural component which is very, very unique to the country of India. But madrasas are different. They are theologically run schools, and that's what Rahul Gandhi and Sumansi Raman can't understand.
Okay, very quickly, Zainab Sikandar, let's not eat up her time. One second, doctor.
1 second.
1 minute. Don't eat up Zainab Sikandar's time. We have 6 minutes on the show, please. Let her respond. I'll bring you back. Let at least everyone have the first comment here. Zainab Sikandar, yes. To what Shehzad Poonawalla says. Big distinction. One imparts theological curricula. The other one is cultural. Culture is same for all of us. We are all Indians first.
He just used a blanket statement on all madrasas. India is filled with many madrasas, and none of them are bomb-making organizations. In fact, if they are bomb-making organizations, I would request him to request the government to catch such people. Otherwise, he should face legal consequences for making such a huge statement that all madrasas are bomb-making organizations. As for what Shehzad said about Hafiz Saeed coming out from a madrasa, is he aware of Zakat Foundation in Delhi itself, which coaches madrasa students to go into UPSC exams? Is he aware of all the students from madrasas who are cracking UPSC and are a part of the bureaucracy of India? Are you going to call those children terrorists just because they've had education in madrasa? So please don't make blanket statements.
Okay, one second.
No, you did. You said that there are Hafiz Saeeds coming out of madrasas. That's not true. That's not true.
No, 1 second.
Okay?
There's a context here. Zainab Sikandar, 1 second. It's Rahul Gandhi. 1 minute, listen to me.
I'm coming to that.
No, 1 second. Zainab Sikandar, 1 second.
I'm coming to that.
1 second.
I'm coming to that, sir. You have to let me complete.
No, 1 second. Let me not let a misconception float around so that, we don't have a debate chasing the wrong goalpost. Okay. First and foremost, it's Rahul Gandhi who compared these schools to madrasas in Pakistan. Now, we know what madrasas in Pakistan have produced. Not me, the CIA, the American government, many democracies have said that these are the factories of extremism. Now, these are not my words. I can quote several words by international leaders. So, Rahul Gandhi is making that comparison. It is in that context. 1 minute. It is in that context that Shehzad Poonawalla is asking, have any RSS schools produced a Hafiz Saeed? This is not in any other context. So please don't, change the goalpost deliberately. Now make your point, Zainab Sikandar. Now that has been established.
No, but no
one is talking about Indian madrasas.
What Mr. Ratan Sharda said, because you should have stopped him at that point.
He can respond to you on that point.
Yeah, so they should make the distinction that we are not talking about Indian madrasas. We are specifically talking about Pakistani, because if there are Indian madrasas who are doing this, then they should be under the legal eye, and they should be given the stringent,
go ahead with your point.
In the most stringent way.
Go ahead with your point.
But then if they're making such statements, these people should be held accountable.
Go ahead with your point.
Now, second thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue with what Dr. Raman said. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead with your point. Make your point.
Now, the problem with these RSS affiliated schools, the problem with the RSS affiliated schools are the curriculum. Now, Dinanath Batra, the man who heads all these schools, he has gone on record saying that all the schools that we are running, the curriculum is based to fight against Macaulay's, Marx and Madrasawadis. Which secular school would say this? Which person who's heading a secular school, and that to 14,000 schools? And by the way, Rahul, only 5,000 schools are affiliated with CBSE, not all. NCERT itself said RSS schools are spreading bigotry. Why isn't this?
Okay,
I'll give you
let me
more
bring in
examples.
Rakesh.
Colonialism.
Let me bring in Rakesh Sinha.
Hindu divinities, Hindu deities are compared with Govalkar and Hedgegiver. Even as a Hindu.
Paired with Govalkar and Hedgegiver. Even as a Hindu, how do you allow that? You're actually allowing gods being compared with people.
Well, let
who
me
are
tell you,
part
Zainab
right
Sikandar,
now
in this
of
country,
RSS. There
one
is a
second,
comparison of the two.
rationalists are allowed to compare Hindu deities with things I don't even want to mention, but that is allowed because you see that is free speech and rationalism. So let's not cherry pick and let's not be, trying to sort of provoke.
Sir.
No, 1 second.
It's
Don't try to provoke things.
Taught to children.
Madam, there are enough people writing very educated tomes. And they are called rationalists and inquirers.
Okay, let me tell you
and
another
influencing
thing.
minds. 1 second, let me bring in Rakesh Sinha. Okay, 1 second, let me bring in Rakesh Sinha.
Then the curriculum.
Okay, 1 second.
You have to let me make my point.
Let
You
Rakesh
gave others
Sinha.
a lot of chance. You have to give me my time.
Ma'am, you're going to produce a laundry list of 25 points. We've understood what you're saying, that they spread hate, their curriculum is hate-based, right? That's what you're saying. Now we can go, and spend 1 hour.
You have to hear the curriculum is not rational.
Zainab, you have said it 3 times. You mentioned 3 examples. You want to mention another 30? Go ahead. We don't have the time for that. Maybe you can find.
I can mention more.
Yeah, so fine, good. We understand. You made your point, right? You've used 3 examples.
But that's how you'll see why
so let me bring in
RSS schools.
Ma'am, let me bring in the other side to rebut you. They might have a point of view. Let them also have their chance. Okay, go ahead. Rakesh Sinha, respond. She's read out a laundry list. She has many more points to say how bigoted the curriculum is. Go ahead.
I'm not. I am the person who does not believe in binary. But at the same time, I will say that Indian madrasa, I'm talking, just giving an example of Kolkata madrasa. The principal Qazi Masum Akhtar was badly beaten because he was singing Jan Gan Man Adhinayak. Tell me one madrasa in this country which promotes the national song, Bande Matram. Tell me any madrasa.
Oh God!
I'm coming to that.
Sir, I can
Second
just show
example,
you video if I'm
there
allowed.
may be some good madrasa. I don't say that there are not good madrasa. They are not
there
good.
There are proper marches.
Just tell me. Just allow me to finish. I have not interrupted you. One of the panelists mentioned about the report on the Vidya Bharati by certain NCERT people. They are the same authors. I'm taking their name. They are JNU professors, Aditya Mukherjee and also they made the report. They wrote also a book. They are the same people, same professors, group of professors who wrote about Bhagat Singh, terrorist, in the NCERT book, and about Guru Tegh Bahadur Repain. Repain in Hindi, meaning in Hindi is Lutera. During the NDA regime, when the Repain word was deleted, they said you are saffronizing. I think Vidya Bharati school are the schools which are holistic syllabus and nothing against the Indian culture, Indian tradition. If you hate Veda, Ramayana, Mahabharata, if you hate singing Vande Matram, then Vidya Bharati school can't help you.
Okay.
Tell me one madrasa which sings Vande Matram. If you will tell me, I will apologize.
Mr. Kidwai, yes, you've raised your hand. Mr. Kidwai raises his hand. He wants to come in very quickly. Yes.
Yeah, I think.
I want to respond.
I think Rahul, we are. Every member in this panel must talk with the sense of degree of responsibility.
Sure.
The key point here is we have problem with curriculum. Every 5 years, whenever there is a change of government in Rajasthan, you see a curriculum is revised. The history is rewritten. What kind of nation are we? I mean, why can't we have some element of consensus on how history has to be
that's a larger point. That's a larger point. 1 minute. One second.
Yes, I'm coming to it. I think what Rahul Gandhi has said.
Yeah.
I see that what Rahul is saying, his objective is being, fulfilled. The way we are debating about it. Because
Rahul.
1 minute.
Hello?
Rashid Kidwai is saying something. Let him finish his point. I'll come to you. Relax. There's Ratan Sharda also coming to you. Yes. Yes, sir.
So the only thing I'm saying, what if Rahul Gandhi has said anything inaccurately, that should be, discussed and debated and perhaps condemned also. But we cannot just change the goalpost and say the Indian madrasas do this. I mean, there are 6 states, including Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, which have a state-recognized madrasa boards. Government of India, several state
so
governments
let me just go back a little bit.
Education.
This debate started with you asking the question that can you, in your report, point out whether these various institutions run by the RSS is inclusive? So I gave you statistical evidence to suggest, look, there are children from other backgrounds, other creeds, other religions, castes also, who are part of this. So we settled that one aspect about their inclusivity. Now we've come down to curriculum. There is a big divide on the curriculum aspect of it, whether it is fostering a kind of exclusivism or it is culturally based, certainly not theological, which we've all agreed. Now we can discuss whether this is culturally exclusivist or culturally inclusive. So we are now refining this debate to that point, on which, let me just quickly recount. Dr. Sumant C. Raman pointed out the example of a report which he says suggests that culturally also the curriculum has been deemed exclusive. Now let's let's start one second.
The committee that gave the report did not have a single Muslim in it.
Okay.
It had only Hindus.
Okay, so that's the point.
and
So let's...
As members,
Okay.
vice chancellors from about half a dozen universities, eminent universities across India.
Okay, so on
So
that
this is
point,
not
on that
something
point,
which was prepared
on this
with
report...
with a committee which was handpicked
Okay,
by
fair
the
enough.
minority.
A report prepared by members of the majority community, Ratan Sharja, as well as Shadat Punala. Quickly, Shadat Punala, you wanted to make a point. You raised your hand
Rahul,
before
can I
Ratan
finish the
Sharda.
point that I was making?
I'll
Can I
come
finish
back
the
to you.
point? After that, I'll stop. Just 10 seconds.
I'll just make a very quick
10
point.
seconds.
5
Yeah,
seconds.
just 10 seconds.
Okay,
Yeah.
please
10
carry on. So please, after
Now,
you.
my point is, rewriting of history is a problem when it is not substantiated by fact. I mean, India is one of the few countries, world over, the future is uncertain. In India, even the past is uncertain. We don't know. Things keep changing now. Somebody whose generations have grown up reading is a hero is now...
Okay. Okay, yes, Shadat
On a
Punawala.
happier
Yes.
note, a happier,
Yeah.
more conciliatory note. Zainab is a very good speaker, and she would know that the organization she writes for often, the proprietor of that organization, Mr. Shekhar Gupta, himself studied in a Shishu Mandir, and he's very proud of it. So I think with that, I think we should end the debate, not get held
That's
up on
great,
figures of
sir.
speech,
I'm not-
and
I'm
let's have a
not,
conciliatory note
Okay.
at least on this.
I'm
Ratan
not
Sharda,
criticizing.
Ratan
I'm
Sharda,
making
one
points.
second.
I'm
Zainab
making
Sikandar,
facts.
please. Just
I'm
1
making
minute.
facts.
1 second. Let me bring in Ratan Sharda on this point. Ratan Sharda ji, yes, please respond at length to the charges that have been made.
First of all, when I talked about militants and bomb-making factories, I'm talking of the Pakistani madrasas. When I talked about Indian madrasas, I talked specifically why Rahul did not mention them. I did not call them militant. I said they talk about exclusivist ideology. Am I wrong? There is no concept of kafir? She talks of rationalism. Is Jannat and Jahannam a rational thought? Is the logic that Earth is flat? Is it rational? Is it rational to call people kafir if they don't belong to a particular religion? Is it rational to call women as half witnesses in Sharia? So let us not get into that side. But it is clear that when you talk about exclusivity, you talk that those who belong to my religion are only going to reach the God, others are not. That is what I'm talking about. And if this is the thought that is being taught in madrasas, that is the reason we talk of modernization of madrasas. If you can make a blanket statement about Saraswati Shishu Mandir, I have made a broad statement about the very ideology of madrasas which teach this kind of ideology. And you can't question that because that is your own books, your own Sharia. I am not quoting anything outside the Sharia, outside the book. And if you talk of this history, do you think who rewrote history? History was rewritten in 1980s by JNU professors, so-called eminent historians, about whom Arun Shourie said enough. Those people who wish to talk about what eminent historians did, please read Arun Shourie. Don't ask me to debate here on this TV in a short time. Do you believe that NCERT books, they tell you very reverently that Mughals did wonderfully good things to Hindus and Hindu temples? We should believe that history. Because the folk history, the history that we see on the land, whether Delhi or UP, anywhere, tells us that there was huge Holocaust, there was destruction of temples, there was genocide of the Hindus, which has been recorded by various historians. The history was written by people like R.C. Majumdar, by people like Jadunath Sarkar, who have been banished from the libraries of the books. They are not even referred to. If this is the kind of history that Mr. Rashid Kidwai talks about, if they believe that in 1980s when JNU eminent historians wrote the history, that was the ultimate history, I'm sorry. History existed before JNU came into picture. History will exist even if it doesn't happen. So let us not get into this debate. And when you talk of Babri Masjid, okay, somebody in thousands of Saraswati Shishu Mandir, one school talked about Babri demolition. If people can talk about Shahadat of Babri, if people who can talk that we will still stick to Babri, we will not allow Ram Mandir, etc.
Well, these are fair points on both sides, but I have to say, Ratan Sharda, 1 second, please, gentlemen, I've run out of time. I need to wrap up this debate. Let's be, first of all, mature enough to understand that there will always be two conflicting points of views. And one side can make a blanket statement against the other and expect it to be a matter of record, while the other side responds in the same vein, should be expunged from the record, is being childish. Let's not be both churlish and childish. We need to grow up, and we need to accept that you are speaking about a subject which has been reduced to a binary by an individual who speaks the language of binaries, unfortunately. And therefore, there are going to be hard views on both sides, which we may not like. But we have to accept in the spirit of discourse and dialogue and democracy. No one gets a veto. No one gets to say, we can be absolutely, repulsively even, condescending about another point of view, and it must stand. But when they get it back in the same coin, we must expunge that from the record because we believe that we are being victimized. Now, that is childishness. I will leave it at that, viewers. We've had a constructive debate. I leave it at this, viewers, for you to judge.